Today we are going to watch an amazing movie released in 2006 called Brightburn. It is a science fiction survival movie. There are so many fields in this movie that you might get choked up watching it, because the story of this movie is breathtaking. Finds a husband named Kyle and a wife named Tori in their home after years gone by. No child is born from behind their house while they are in their house one night. They now see some red light coming out of the thing that everyone hears the sound of. The movie doesn't meet until 12 years later, and now we are shown that Samantha and Quail have a baby boy. His name is Brain Dead. He is now 12 years old. One night, Tori was sitting in her room painting. While doing so, he is won from their farmhouse where they keep crops and essentials. Red lights and hears some strange noises, and on the other hand, Brandy is lying on his bed. Jirager starts to move, and after a while, he jumps down from the window in his room. He came out of the house after hearing a strange noise but did not see anyone when he entered the house again. He then feels that someone is behind him very fast. He went out following the sound and reached his farmhouse where he found his son. Locks on the farmhouse floor try to open a door from which Lala and the stranger come out. Voices coming out. Tori panics to see her son doing this and pulls him out of there. The next morning, the room came to the lawnmower to mow the grass in Brandy's garden. Trying to turn it on, but the machine won't turn on at all, so he gets angry and runs the machine. With the help the machine turns on, he starts pulling it and gets angry after many attempts to see that the machine does not turn on. Throws away the machine in many ways, and it is absolutely for him to pick up the machine and throw it away. It is not possible, so he is surprised to see Bran lying away from the machine and looks toward the girl who belongs to the machine. The blade is spinning so violently that he tries to stop the books with his hand, saying the touch of his hand. Kay stops and bends along with him but does not cut his hand, and from this we understand that Branding has some strange power now. Her parents and her start to suspect that something strange is happening to her, so they, who wants to campaign in the canteen with the brand at night when they are all in pants. While lying in bed, you see that his son is not in his bed. A classmate is sleeping in his room when his laptop suddenly turns off his bed. Get up and turn the laptop off and get back into bed before suddenly the laptop turns itself off again. Turns on, which scares him a bit, and he turns off the laptop in fear and something on it. Putting the book down, she turned off her laptop and turned to look at him as she walked out. He goes outside the window and suddenly he sees Brand, who is very scared. Hearing his screams, his mother came into the room and, as he said, outside the window. His mother can't see anyone there, and meanwhile, Tarita Boy is looking for Brand name. Branded suddenly appeared in front of him. Seeing there, her mother breathed a sigh of relief, and Branded told me that I had gone to the washroom. The next morning they come from the Branded camp to the free school for their physical education at school. While the class is going on, Brand is surrounded by all his classmates standing and Branded. Leaving a light on his body, it is falling on the road at his trusted now Brand cable. It was the girl who showed off the classmate who was Branded one night. Seeing Brand falling on him, he moved away and Brand fell to the ground. Seeing the girl's behavior like this, their class teacher scolded her and told her that you are a Brand. Will you pick yourself up from the ground and apologize to him for abusing you even though he doesn't want to? The class teacher reaches out to lift Bran off the ground by holding his hand, but this, getting angry at knowingly throwing her away, he grabs the girl's hand very hard, due to which the girl's hand is broken. Bones are broken for the use of brands like this. He was suspended from school for 2 days. He was very worried about his son's condition, and she tells her husband, Kays, that we hid the thing under the farmhouse. It attracted our son. He tried to open the door many times, but the thing was off. Now at night, Brandy is asleep, then once again read from the farmhouse. Potatoes and strange noises come out, and Brander goes there and breaks the lock on the farm gate. And he walks completely into the red light from Tarika's room despite seeing that red light from the farmhouse. Rushing towards reaching the farm, he sees his son flying through the air in a red light that is his son's. On the way, the red light goes off and his son falls to the ground, cutting his hand. And this is the first time he has been hurt by something. He has to return to the knowledge of branding to recognize himself. He wants to know the truth from his mother. Then his mother tells him that one night 12 years ago, a spaceship crashes behind our house, and that's it. You were in the spaceship and we took you from the spaceship to our farm. Hiding was Brand's child, or they got him from the spaceship. If they had a crush 12 years ago in the back of their house. After hearing these words from his mother, he went home angrily. Goes out, and now the red light is flashing for his eye disease. He says, I will leave someone. No, I will kill everyone. So they go to that girl's house first. Jabhad, she broke it. While sitting alone in his room looking at his laptop, suddenly his laptop shut down. So he sees Brandy in front of him and says, I came to apologize to you, but the girl cries and says, you leave here as my mother has forbidden to talk to you now. Brander suddenly disappears from there and goes to the girl's mother, who owns the shop. Just as he was closing, he suddenly noticed many similar signs in the windows near his shop. That's when the light started to shine. While she is looking at the tube light breaks and a piece of it falls into the girl's eye. He enters because he can't see properly and immediately sees a baby boy wearing a mask in front of him. It turns out that Brandon came to kill Brandon's girl because she is his daughter. Forbidden to talk to the band, he kills the girl with his powers and shows up on the other side. Either Tori goes to bank for counseling with her younger sister who counsels children at school. Knows everything about taking Brandy to Brandy's aunt's house at night, i.e. her. He comes to his mother's younger sister's house and tells his Massey that what you know about him is like someone else. Can't find out, and if someone finds out, it won't be good for you. Saying that he needs to go home now, he closes the door and goes inside the house and falls asleep again. She enters her aunt's house, but her aunt's groom, i.e. her Messamshai, is there. Took off his mask and took him out of the house to the car. I want to sit and leave the house, but Brandon does not sit in the car with that band. Forced to do so, Brand becomes enraged and starts to glow red from his eyes, causing Brand. Messamshai knocked away and got back up to his car and found the brand in the package. No, so he drove out into the street in his car to look for Brandon. Arriving and seeing Brand on the road with his hair in the wind, he couldn't believe his eyes. Because he thinks he's seeing these strange things because he's drinking, but that's the brand of his car. Just like that, Brand Miso started flying in the air, taking the car of the Brand Miso Mashe high and upside down, by throwing it on the road below, which caused car Messamshai to die in Brand Messamshai's blood. With a sign on the road, the band returned home from there and his parents returned home. In other words, Black Tori asks him why you are holding his clothes and he replies that some people. The boy pushed me and threw away my clothes for him. Even though it is torn, it gets dirty, then his mother says give me the clothes, but I say it is branded. Going to the room, he leaves after going to Brand's room and tells this file. Brandon is hiding something from us, but Tari doesn't believe him anymore because of this. They have a small quarrel while sleeping at night when he realizes that his wife is beside him. No, he goes outside to find another spaceship crashed behind their house, his wife's. There is a child in the lap. The child is 26 terrible, and then Cal wakes up. He has been a dream for so long. While watching, they received a call from the sister of the groom saying that her husband had met with an accident. Both of Els making arrive at the hospital. Upon arrival at the hospital, they find out that night Brienne's sister's house. Hearing what came, Cal's suspicions grew on the grand others when they returned home of Tori Brand. He doesn't react when told that his cousin is dead, which is suspicious of Cal. Now it becomes a belief to think so, starting with the issue of the Brand that somehow has a hand in the accident. Starts to ask him, but Brandon gets angry and directs his father toward the back cupboard. Pushes, causing the cupboard to break. This is the first time Brandy has been this bad with her father, using which causes him to walk into his room now fully convinced that all the people banned. But after all that happened, Turi didn't want to hear anything against her son, so Kyle, to collect evidence against Brand, go into Brand's room and find that blood. He finds the dress and brings it in front of you. The letter Brand has hidden in his room tells him Cal, the Brand that is beating all of Elijah from another planet, is ours in a few days, and kill her, but because of the mother's love of branding and the making she is her husband's. Incredulous, the next morning Kyle took them camping on Brack Bank. After leaving, a police officer comes to their house. He is Bradman. The police did not ask about it after hearing that Brander and his father went for a walk yesterday. The officer shows him a signed picture and says that similar pictures were found at 2 murder places. Are you? What do you know about it? Since telling him I don't know anything about the police officer leaving. He goes to his son's room and opens his son's notebook to find that there are many gruesome drawings in it. He also carries many of the same signs that the police officer showed him after seeing them. The man is now fully convinced that the murderers are brandishing his son from here. A change shows the cobras in the jungle who have come to hunt in the jungle walking ahead of Brand. Seeing this opportunity, Cal Reniniger shoots, but Calica falls after seeing no damage to the Brand. Goes and starts shooting the friend more, but by then Brandy has disappeared from there. Being unable to see the front of the Brand, Kaj ran away to save his life. Starts but from where the Brand flies and hits Calhouse. Due to the black falls on the ground, now Brand's mask falls and comes to his ears and fire comes out of his eyes. Cal is burnt to death while others are shown thinking about work at home. Because he knows everything about his son Bradman now, he calls tomorrow, but the call is received. By asking Branded Chevron where Cal is, branding tells him that the current Gunn is what factory, realizes that her husband Mara Parabrajan asks where are you. Acha then gets scared hearing that branding tells him that I came home for you because he, Jane Brand, came home to kill her and made to save herself by calling the police. A police officer from Brand comes in to save her, but just as she is approaching the police, another female police officer who killed Kay is asking Terry to hide inside the house. Dispatch calls for help through walkie-talkie, but that woman police officer is killed by someone now. hiding in the family, and branded him home to kill. To save himself, he went out of the window, which caused him to fall to the ground. Falling cuts his hand, which he thinks only one thing of the brand can hurt. That spaceship is still in my house and one time bandied about by this spaceship. Tori went into the farmhouse and brandished a sharp weapon from the spaceship. Calling her, she starts showing love to Brand so that she comes to him with branding involved. Brander grabs his hand as he moves to strike from behind with a sharp weapon. Seeing this use of creation, he got angry and threw Terry to the ground from 35,000 feet in the sky. The next morning, Brandon saw an airplane pass in front of him. It is shown that the spaceship that was on the farm crashed the airplane on the farm. All the airplane jobs that would have been killed with the help of grinding have also been lost with the airplane. The only one left alive is Branded. All this way, his parents died because of the crash in the science house. We are shown that Bandel has destroyed many things, killed many people, and all of them together. It has given a new name, which is Brightburn, and if the man wants to save himself, then by all means Brightburn. That means the brand has to be killed, and this is how we want to see the end of this movie.